welcome back to Vintage Thursday. So, as you have probably guessed, today is fodder beet drilling. So, as always, we have the 35 on wide track setting, narrow row-crop wheels, and our Stanhay 6-row drill. So, we're all full of seed now. So, Dad's just gone off to set a pole. That's what I do. He runs around with a pole, and I drive to the pole to keep a straight line rather than following the hedge. So let's get on. Right, so there's our first run complete. Bit of a blockage on there. Picked up a clod. So, right, so that is first run done. We were carrying a bit of a lump here. What we'll do, we'll just check our seed spacing, seed depth before we go on again, just to make sure that it's right. And in the background, just started mowing. So, right, let's find some seeds. Okay, so we've got a lovely seed bed. So Dad power harrowed this yesterday. The top's dried off nicely. Still plenty of moisture in the ground. There's still plenty of moisture underneath. So there's our first seed. So we're aiming for a 5-inch spacing. There's our second one. It's probably near a 6, isn't it? But you know. Right, so we got good depth, good spacing, and plenty of moisture in the soil. Right, so let's get on, do some more. So that is the headland done. Got to put our markers. So when we're doing the headland, we just run with one marker down. Put the other one down now so they're right for going up and down. My wind is storming on out there. So he's mowing away nicely out there. So if you remember back in the autumn or September, we did I think what do we call it, no plough grass seeding, and that was out there where that was spring wheat last year. And we just power harrowed the stubble, put the grass seed in, so that is now what he is mowing. So it looks, there's a nice bit out there, and it's going to take a bit of drying, but we are bright and sunny and quite breezy today, but the soil is very wet. The soil is wet everywhere, so silage will take a bit of drying out this time, but if things work out, you will have already seen the silage video, because Vintage Thursday will follow on from that, if I've got it right, and if I remember to do things in the right order. So let's put our marker down. A quick check of the seeds, make sure we've got plenty. Make sure they're all going down level as well, it's most important. So then we know they're all working the same. Right, let's get on up and down. for a seed check. Okay, so we're getting down a little bit now. They won't finish it, so what I'll do is I will spread a box of seed between all the hoppers, and because we're getting close to the end, so just one more box to do it, just spread it out between them all, and that will take us to the end then. So our variety for this year is Blaze. So we've grown this quite a few times now. It always does well for us here. We have gone away from it twice, but always come back. The reason for going away from it, it grows very high out of the ground. And if you've watched our previous harvesting videos, the harvester quite often, if they're too tall, it will knock the roots over before it harvests them. So that's why we go away from it and we go to a lower, or a variety that grows lower into the ground. But whenever we do that, we do get a more successful harvest in terms of waste, but the yield is never as good as this. So kind of what ends up in the clamp is the same. With the lower growing variety we get less waste, but with this we always get more yield. So we've gone back to it. We may be able to, everybody says lift your topping knives up on the harvester, so it doesn't do it, and it's absolutely right, it doesn't do it when you do that, but then we get a lot of green in the clamp, which I don't really want. But anyway, we'll worry about that in the autumn when we get to it. So we've gone back to Blaze. One of the good things about this, it gives us a red coloured root, and who doesn't like red things? So you know, it kind of blends in. Planting at 1 box per acre, so that's 50,000 seeds per acre. So this one particular hopper has in it this level monitor, so that's a little float there, it sits on top of the seed, and that should connect to a little light box on the tractor. There's also, coming out the back of every unit, a sensor wire. Okay, so what that does, that tells you when the belts are turning, and on the tractor you would have a box with a light for every row and then a light for that sensor, the level sensor. First year we used this, which was 2001 I believe, first year we grew beet with this drill, and we had all that set up, we put the box in the tractor, and it just wasn't accurate, it wasn't reliable. You spent more time looking at the lights, wondering were they working, and then you actually spent following your row, and anyway. So we did away with it, and we've never used it since, and yeah, we don't miss it. Never felt the need to get it going properly, and we'd always check that, you know, that's why regular checks of the seed level, make sure it's all going down level, we know they're all working then. Right, so that seed will see us to the end. We're not far now, we're here, and we just got to go to that hedge, and then a little bit of short work here, so getting close now. So that is it, the final little bit have gone in. That is beet drilling for 2023, all completed. So there is plenty of moisture underneath. The seeds have gone into moisture. They will now get away. And there is rain forecast for, I think, 3 or 4 days time, but we don't really want that to come, because we're now, as you saw earlier in the video, we are now cutting grass. But you will probably have seen the silage video before you see this video. That is our beet drilling all completed for this year. About 6 acres, a little bit more than 6 acres maybe went in. Good conditions, there's plenty of moisture down below, the seed is in moisture, so it won't be long now and it will shoot on. So that is it. It's taken about 3 hours to drill this bit, and that is all this drill ever does. So what we do now, back to the yard, take the boxes off, empty the seed out, take the belts out of the boxes and put it away for next year. So for Vintage Thursday next week, I'm going to leave you a little teaser, because it's time to reveal something new has arrived into the collection. Not new, something else has arrived into the collection. So, but you're not going to find out what it is until next week. So come along, so come back and watch that. And I will say thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. We will of course be back in the autumn to harvest this, so yeah, hopefully we get a good summer on it with some moisture and some sunshine and a good crop. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.